The 2010 Championship Playoff Series gets underway here at the Leigh Sports Village Stadium as the Centurions take on the Sheffield Eagles. There was just a point in it when these two sides met on Sky 2 weeks ago. Could be just as nail-biting tonight. This is how the final top six looked in the Championship. Featherstone Rovers took the league leaders title ahead of Halifax, while Leigh claimed third place ahead of Barrow and Widnes, with the Eagles finishing in the sixth and final playoff place, which means it's 3v6 here tonight in Leigh. Other playoff games coming up in the Championship on Sunday at 3 o'clock. Barrow Raiders take on the Widnes Vikings. That's at Craven Park on Sunday. In Championship 1, also elimination playoffs at 3 o'clock. Rochdale against South Wales Scorpions. And at 3:30 on Sunday, Blackpool take on Workington Town. So sudden death already in the Championship and Championship 1. Well, there is no Tommy Goulden in the Leigh side tonight through injury. Dual-registered Lee Mitchell has been recalled by Warrington for their game at Harlequins tomorrow, but his club colleagues Matty Blythe and Tyrone McCarthy have each played the necessary number of games in the regular season to be eligible for Leigh tonight. So Stuart Donlan is at full-back for the Centurions. Then it's Steve Maiden, Blythe, Mick Nannin, Adam Hickson, John Duffy and Robbie Paul. In the forwards, Chris Hill, Dave McConnell, Mike Morrison, James Taylor, Paul Smith comes back into the side in place of the injured Goulden, and Dave Armitstead at loose forward. And on the bench, Ricky Bybee, a rare appearance for Stephen Nash in an injury-troubled season at Leigh, Martin Ridyard and Tyrone McCarthy. The coach is Ian Millward. And the Sheffield Eagles, as you were after their victory over Leigh 2 weeks ago, when Missy Talapapa, who's at full-back and captaining the Eagles side, scored a hat-trick. Then it's Danny Mills, Menzi Yeri, Tanguy Rapati, Tim Bergin, Brendan Lindsay and Simon Brown. And in the forwards, Jack Howison, Craig Cook, Mitchell Stringer, Alex Zostak, Peter Green and Joe Hurst. And on the bench, Trevor Exton, Michael Haley, Ryan Hepworth and Andrew Henderson. The coach, Mark Aston, and he had a difficult choice to make. Alex Rowe was fit and available to play, but Aston deciding to keep faith, as mentioned, with the side that beat the Centurions 29-28 2 weeks ago on Sky Sports. And maybe that victory was a little bit more comfortable than the final scoreline would suggest. Ricky Bybee scoring a very late try for the Centurions right under the posts, which meant the gap was narrowed. But Missy Talapapa was on fire that night, and Leigh Centurions will be keeping an eye on the Sheffield Eagles fullback. The former New Zealand Warrior and Cronulla Sharks man will be hoping to repeat the feat tonight to guide the Sheffield Eagles through this elimination playoff tie. They lost here earlier in the season, 36 points to 20, but they are up against an unpredictable Leigh Centurions side, who really are hit and miss, as the form book shows. Losing at Sheffield, prior to that they had won in Toulouse, and that's no mean feat. So which Leigh Centurions side will turn up tonight, led out by Robbie Paul? Will it be the side that misfires, or will it be the Leigh team that will go through to the next stage of the Championship playoffs? Certainly that's what their supporters are feeling here tonight, that we'll see the form side of Robbie Paul's team, but they can't afford, Barry, to really start the way they did against Sheffield.
The biggest factor tonight for the Leigh club is the pressure that they're under. They need to show composure when they get near their opponent's line. They need to come away with something. Two tremendous kicking games on show tonight. Simon Brown and his 40-20s, they could play a part, but Robbie Paul and John Duffy, when they've got the ball in hand, they really make things happen.
Onside, guys.
Well, Robert Hicks is the referee here tonight. There is Simon Brown, who will be getting the game underway for the Sheffield Eagles in their change strip here tonight. So the first of the Cooperative Championship playoff games gets underway, and Leigh Centurions will get first touch of the ball. And Leigh under pressure at home as ever, and the last time we saw them in a knockout tie like this, it was that Northern Rail Cup semi-final when they were at home to the Batley Bulldogs and expected to go through, and they didn't handle the pressure that night. Will they do so tonight?
And it is about that
the start of the season, they won the first opening 9 rounds in the championship. Then they lost 7 out the last 11, so they know that they need to start performing. And this is where Sheffield want to defend. And 2 weeks ago, they pressured Leigh into making mistakes in their own end of the park.
Quicken it up, Sheffield. Listen to the move.
Morrison starting tonight. Ricky Bybee, who started last time out, just having a bit of a knock in training, and so he's on the bench. There is already a player down in back play. It's a Sheffield Eagles player, I think, in trouble.
Yeah, it was Mike Morrison who went straight into that tackle.
It's Craig Cook. There's another player down, and
Tally Papa, that, Bill.
And Tally Papa, well, Craig Cook is back on his feet, but Tally Papa is not, and there was a scream of anguish from Tally Papa as he went down. That's how Craig Cook went down. He's got stray elbow in the throat, perhaps, but Tally Papa in a lot of pain.
Well, you said he was going to be a marked man. Here you can see him returning the ball. That was a big aspect of his game. You can see he just gets bent double over. I think it's James Taylor who comes over the top. But they've got to make sure they're good down this area of the park.
That does look nasty.
That does, and straight away Mike Morrison to the sideline. We need some help out here, and that doesn't look good at all.
And unfortunately, I think they're calling for the stretcher already. So Mark Aston with problems, and only a minute or so on the clock here tonight. And the man who was so instrumental in that victory 2 weeks ago, Missy Talapapa, in all sorts of trouble down there on the pitch.
And as well, Mark Aston just jotting some notes down. He'll be looking at his bench. Who can he bring on? Who can he move around? He's got 4 forwards on the bench. 2 props, a back rower. It's Trevor Exton, the man who's warming up.
Well, Talapapa is sitting up.
That doesn't look like the face of somebody that is contemplating whether he can play on or not. The stretcher's coming on. He was the big difference between the two sides a couple of days ago.
The stretcher is on, but Missy Talapapa, assisted off the field by Waz Savataboa, is not throwing in the towel in yet. But that is a major blow for the Eagles.
That is a big loss for Sheffield. And how can they react to that? Because he is one of the key players that got them that result a couple of weeks ago. Scored a hat-trick against this Leigh side and was the big difference between the two sides.
Well, Exton has come onto the field as Talapapa leaves it. So the PNG international will slot into the sides, out wide somewhere. And how can Sheffield cope with that? The talisman, the form player of the side, already, it seems, out of the game.
And again, looking to try and play outside of Leigh. Had a lot of success with that again a couple of weeks ago. Trying to play outside the big men from Leigh in the middle of the park where they are very strong in defence.
Jack Howison takes the tackle, and Leigh doing well in that set of 6 to really pressurise this Sheffield side, not give them any room. And there was a late shot on Brendan Lindsay, and the penalty. Donlan in complete bewilderment, and in fact I think somebody's in the bin.
Yeah, it's Hill.
It's Chris Hill,
the front rower from Leigh.
Well, he sent Chris Hill to the sin bin for 10 minutes. Said he could have pulled out that tackle, followed it through. There you can see Lindsay kicks the ball, just comes in a little nudge.
It was late, but if you're going to be late, you might as well make it worthwhile.
He got there as quick as he could, Bill. That's what he'll tell you.
Well, it's given the Sheffield Eagles an opportunity now from the penalty, which they put to touch. And Stringer will play the ball. Can they capitalise on this now? Lindsay finds Brown. Brown out wide to Bergin, and Bergin will take on Donlan and get the try in the corner. And the Eagles have responded to adversity already with the try, the 6th of the season from the Irish international Tim Bergin. And it was Chris Hill with a lazy challenge that led to that situation.
Well, Leigh Centurions know they can't allow Sheffield to get kicks away, and 40-20s, the variety of kicking game that they brought with them tonight. And what about the quality of that pass? Left to right pass, gave Tim Bergin fantastic opportunity with the line beckoning towards him, makes no mistake, Gets the ball in his right hand and puts it down. The perfect start for Sheffield.
That's the third successive game that Tim Bergin has crossed the whitewash, and he's really grown in stature as the season has gone on, the former Gaelic footballer. And Simon Brown, who came here mid-season from Doncaster, former Leeds Academy player. Johnny Woodcock, of course, out of the side for the season with his knee injury. And Brown, the goal-kicking replacement, but he wasn't able to hit the target with that. But the Eagles are ahead already by 4 points to 0. And there's your try scorer. Need one of those, Terry, I think.
Well, Adam Higson, the Leigh wing, gets this totally wrong. He comes in too close to Mick Nannin. And just Tim Bergin presents him with a bit of open space. Goes in for the try. I can see you. I do like that. I actually do like that, Bill.
If you only had some to braid.
You would have to stick it on the back of your head. That's the only bit that's not slightly balled in and falling out.
So the thump of the Nannin boot gets the game back underway. And Leigh with an early warning about the potency of this Sheffield Eagles side, because they do have some strike power.
Well, we talk about Missy Talapapa leaving the park. Well, now they've had to change it. Trevor Exton's gone to centre. And they've put Tanguy Rapati at the back. So another man who's got a very good going forward, can read the game, inject himself into that line, as is this man, Simon Brown.
Brown almost wrong footing the Centurions' defence, but they're all over Peter Green. He's done well to get that ball away, though, and they're keeping it alive. And here is Tanguy Rapati now. Gets it wide to Menzi Yeri. Yeri onto Danny Mills. Mills trying to skip down the sideline, but that is good defence out wide. Danny Mills thought he was away, but Matty Blythe cut him down.
Outstanding defence, a great show. And Sheffield need to get away from the guts of the Leigh defence. They're trying to get outside C&D defender. Ian Millwall, be thrilled to bits with that defensive attitude. If you break our line, we're going to make it very difficult.
Well, that's lifted the Leigh Centurion supporters, who are feeling a bit hard done by after that try from Bergin for a penalty that they felt was harshly awarded against them, as was the sin binning of Chris Hill. But Centurions are down to 12, but they have a penalty.
Well, Sheffield just too quick out the blocks. Craig Cook it was. So they're trying to put pressure on this Leigh side. Take away the go forward. We talk about pressure. Leigh can't pressure themselves. They've got Chris Hill in the sin bin. He's got another further 7 minutes to go. And they've just got to enjoy the rugby. And that man, Robbie Paul, can be so influential in this game.
So the penalty puts Leigh Centurions deep inside Sheffield territory. Here is Morrison now. Morrison takes the tackle about 5 metres out. McConnell serves it up to Armitstead on the charge. And Armitstead, is he short or is he there? He is there, says the referee. And Dave Armitstead, the Centurions loose forward, powering over there to level the scores close to the posts. So the chances are that with Mick Nannin doing the goal kicking, the Centurions are going to be in front very shortly.
Well, defence wins your games, and it's all about attitude. Matty Blythe not only gets the ball player, he puts them in touch as well. And from this position, straight and hard, Dave Armitstead only thinking one thing: I'm going to run hard, gain as many metres as I can, low trajectory, and gets the ball on the line, which is a try in our game. Before the kick-off, Ian Millward had his Leigh players together. He sat them down behind the sticks on that left-hand side, round about where that try was scored. And he'll have been talking about the importance of tonight. They need to make the most of their opportunities.
And they've done that with only 12 men on the field. There is Chris Hill counting the minutes. Meanwhile, Mick Nannin bang in front of the post, looking for 100 successful goal kicks for the season, and this one should make it. No mistake. Out of the ground from the boot of Mick Nannin. Even though he was just in front of the posts, he doesn't make any mistake with that. Armitstead's try, Nannin's conversion, and the Centurions get their noses in front. Mill would be delighted with that response.
He's a very clever player, Dave Armitstead. He had a little look up, seeing who was at their defender, who was the tightest defender to the right, it was Jack Howison. He got the big man going sideways. As soon as he done that, stepped off his left foot and scored the try.
Of course, Leigh down to 12, but the Sheffield Eagles missing Missy Talapapa already after that early injury, and Rod Studd, I think, has got news of just how serious that is.
Yeah, they're going to be missing Missy all night, Bill, I think, and it lasted just one tackle, didn't it? The hero of that previous game against Leigh, that hat-trick of tries, lasted one tackle tonight. He cannot put any weight at all on that left ankle. He is in a considerable amount of pain. It's swollen up already. It's already looking an absolute mess, and there's no way the doctors have got any chance of getting him back on. As you see it twisted right underneath him, agonising injury, real blow to Sheffield and Mark Aston.
So Leigh in possession, and Duffy thumps a kick downfield. Bergin will field it. He's got Maiden closing him down. Nanin is there as well. Comes back infield. Armistead with the tackle. So with the Missy Talapapa off the field, the onus is on those other three quarters. Men like Tanguy Rapati to step up to the mark. Mills, good scoop from him. He's done well there, Danny Mills.
That's what you want from your outside backs coming in. Getting off the quicker, some quick play. The ball's taking the ball forward. Let your big forwards hit that ball at pace on the third play.
Looks as though the Eagles have decided that they're going to go round this Leigh Centurion side. Brown booming a pass out wide. It's gone backwards, says the referee. That's the fifth tackle. Joe Hurst probably relieved to see that decision. And Brown thumps the kick downfield. Donlan thought about going for it, then decided to let that one go dead.
Simon Brown's kicking game is first class. What about this for a pass? The left to right pass for a rugby league player is one of the more difficult skills. If he catches that, I tell you, Leigh are in trouble.
Go. Trevor, get your hands off the ball.
It's Leigh who are ahead by 6 points to 4 in this elimination playoff game then. It's knockout football for these two sides. Matty Blythe takes the pass just as the Sheffield Eagles players are upon him. Blythe, who was originally named in the Warrington Wolves squad for their trip to Harlequins, as was Tyrone McCarthy, who's on the bench for Leigh tonight. But surplus to requirements for the Wolves, so able to get a game here at Leigh Centurions under the dual registration rule. And now here is Bergin, try-scorer tonight for Sheffield Eagles. Missy Talapapa, they really are prepared to chance their arm, the Eagles are.
They'll throw the ball around anyway, even if it's coming off their own line like them. There's a lot of pressure on this man, Danny Mills. Menzieri on the left-hand side.
Here's Menzieri now, and good news for the Eagles and Eagles supporters. He's signed a new 3-year deal to stay with the Sheffield club. That's quite a coup. He's made quite an impact as the PNG international. Stringer, Brown now. They've got options here. They've got numbers out wide. Peter Green, but Green's running down a cul-de-sac. Hurst now, and Hurst is away, and they'll get another try. And what an excellent one it was. What a finish that was, and they made the superiority of numbers count there to the Sheffield Eagles, and Peter Green taking them towards the line, and it was that man, Joe Hurst, who finished it off for only his 4th try of the season, and what a belter that one was.
Some first-class skill available here on onshore. Mitchell Stringer takes it right to the line, and Peter Green, he's in two minds what to do. He's got Trevor Exton inside, chooses Joe Hurst on the outside, and the Leigh defence doesn't know what to do. What about this? Short balls, simple plays, running hard, making intelligent rugby league decisions. Great play from the Sheffield Eagles.
Good step from the former Halifax, Wakefield and Featherstone loose forwards. And now then, can Simon Brown hit the target for the first time tonight? He's missed with that one as well. He looks at the referee and says, are you sure that was wide of the target? And referee and touch judges in unison there.
Well, there it goes.
Hang on. Well, from that angle,
I'm not so sure.
Simon Brown thought that maybe it had just sneaked in there.
Sorry, no, it was Dave McConnell. I'll call surnames. I remember now. You both called.
Well, we talk about that try. Just watch the big man, Mitch Stringer. He attracts so many defenders because the Leigh side think that he's going to just be a battering ram. But that neat little pass out to Simon Brown, who then just picked out John Duffy, who was just flat-footed. He just couldn't do anything, didn't come forward. He knew he was outnumbered. And Joe Hurst went in for the simple try.
A knock on there by Stringer. Tackled by Morrison, I think it was. And immediately from the restart, the Eagles concede possession.
And there they go. Give the big man a bit of praise. He just loses the ball.
Did he lose it or did he have it stripped, Tez?
Well, he's had a little look at the ref there.
Taylor.
Who was it? Dave McConnell, was it?
I think it was James Taylor whose handiwork has resulted in this position. Oh, and Nannin was side by side with Robbie Paul, just looking for the pass, and it came to him and went away from him again.
Robbie Paul gets in space here. Mick Nannin is doing the moonwalk going backwards. Just can't get hold of that ball.
And there you go. There's one of the most experienced men in the world. Just as soon as he got his arm free, just offloaded that ball. That ball was never on. The man was stood in an offside position.
Go.
So a let-off for the Sheffield Eagles there. Mitch Stringer will be breathing a sigh of relief and making sure he keeps a hold of the ball this time, which he does. Here's Zostak, another man who's committed his future to the Sheffield Eagles. He's signed on for another year as they are penalised once more, the Centurions, not square there.
And Robert Hicks is saying to him, I told you, you are not square. That was a good decision from the referee. He is talking to these players.
So the penalty drives the Centurions backwards down the field, and here is Zostak once more, one of several Scottish internationals out there on the field this evening, many of them in the colours of the Sheffield Eagles. Howison thundering onto that looping pass, but Armitstead read that particular play all right. Here is Simon Brown now. Brown finds Tanguy Rapati. Rapati runs into some solid Centurions defence there. Looking for a quick play, the ball of the Eagles. It doesn't come really. Here is Peter Green. 4 tackles gone. If he goes to ground, it's taking some doing as well. Cook steps over the body of the Leigh player. That's a poor pass. Blythe might scoop onto it. He has done. He's picked it up for the Centurions as Matty Blythe.
That was poor execution from Sheffield. In good position, and Mitch Stringer is that a bit high on Hickson. See Matty Blythe, just the urgent player.
Off goes Maiden.
Well, John Duffy's pointing at Craig Cook. He wants his big men to get at him. Here goes Taylor. He's picked him straight out.
4. Move. Go.
The try scorer for Leigh, Armitstead. And then Chris Hill back out of the bin and into the action. And Robbie Paul's little chip kick, not the best, straight into the arms of Danny Mills. Mills finds Tanguy Rapati now playing at full-back. If you weren't with us right at the start of this game, just over 60 seconds gone, and Missy Talapapa, the captain of the Eagles, the man of the moment for them, off the field and probably out of the game with what looks like a bad ankle injury. Brown has gone for a 40-20, but he hasn't got the angle on it. Still a good kick, though, and Donlan has to cross the field and retrieve that. And it's not a bad chase from the Eagles either.
Well, that's the confidence that Simon Brown's got. He's kicked that on the second tackle, and he's just backing his forwards to control the Leigh team up this end of the park. They had an awful lot of success up this end of the park 2 weeks ago. They're trying to recapture some of that form.
Movement 10 metres, hold, go.
Hickson plays the ball for the Centurions.
4. Move.
Good defence from Cook.
Hold, go.
Stopping his opposite number, McConnell, in his tracks now. Nannin
Last.
does manage to get a hold of that ball. Cook could have been penalised there, just managed to clear the ruck in time. Robbie Paul drills the kick in, and Danny Mills had nothing to do with it. And just a groan from the Leigh fans there, because Robbie Paul, they felt, was hit late after he put that kick in.
Very noticeable. Here's the kick. The charge down, not much in that from Sostik, but again, I didn't think there was much in Hills.
It's good at the minute.
Definitely a penalty, but whether it was a sin bin in. but very noticeable. Craig Cook, the hooker from Sheffield, he's had to do a lot of defence over the last 5 or 6 minutes. They're very much targeting him, making him do extra work, taking the gas out of his tank for when he has the ball.
Ryan Hepworth is on the field for the Sheffield Eagles. That's his first touch of the ball, takes it up to their 30-metre line. Here is Craig Cook, now Sostak. Some big guys out there for the Eagles. Oh, Sostak's offload. It was telegraphed and was just sitting there waiting.
He didn't need to do that. Coming out of his own hand in them yardage areas, just get to the kick. Let Simon Brown do his job. He just turns, offloads the ball. Man, Paul Smith gathers it, easy for Leigh. Again, easy field position for them.
So can they capitalise on that wild pass? 4 tackles gone. They're bang in front of those posts about 12 metres out as Duffy has possession, tries to put the step on. That's the last, or the fifth, last coming up. And Robbie Paul, will he put the grubber kick in? He does, much too strong. And really, he was just about on the try line when he put that kick in.
The importance of completions for Leigh tonight mean that they'll not give the ball away cheaply. They'll be disappointed with that. They want to make Sheffield work away and work hard away from their own line.
10 metres, hold. Go.
Menzieri playing the ball. Here is Haley now, rumoured to be on his way to Featherstone Rovers for next season. Michael Haley, after a pretty good season with Sheffield Eagles. Exton, ball in one hand. Leigh complaining about obstruction there. That was risky from the PNG international. Peter Green going across the field now. They're not making much progress. That's the 5th tackle. And a kick into the corner. Well placed, and Donlan just didn't sit up as he wanted it to. He instructs Maiden to go one way, he goes the other.
And it's the same corner. They really are attacking Leigh's left-hand side. Big McNannon again. Good field position to give that penalty away. If you get back 9 yards, what's the point of not stepping back? Just another extra yard. It's Mickey Haley. That's the man who's in front of the referee. Brendan Lindsay asking the question to the referee.
Well, the Eagles haven't got a great record in Leigh, not necessarily here at the LSV, but their last win in Leigh came 10 years ago, and that was at Hilton Park, when they won 26-24, and Gavin Brown, who's still part of the scene at the Sheffield Eagles, his goal kicking was crucial that day. Well, they've got another Brown in the side this evening of the Eagles, Simon Brown. And can they repeat the feat here tonight? Well, with play like that, they'll believe they've got a chance.
Well, Dave McConnell's just held on to this too long. He's pumped it left. And Chris Haley just a touch too close. Was that forward? Is it forward?
Be on that, so just work on that.
At best, I think it was a line ball. I'm not sure whether it was forward.
It looked forward to me. We're pretty much in line with it up here.
Line ball, Bill. Hit the ball on the advantage line.
Here's Menzieri now. So hard to put down, but they did a good job on him there. Going down the short side, that looked forward to Sostak, but then we're not in line. Hepworth now runs into Bybee among others, makes the tackle. Ricky Bybee, a bit of a injury problem ahead of this game, so starting from the bench. That's the 5th tackle, bang in front of those posts now. Now then, Brown, crossfield kick. Robbie Paul read that one well. But then Robbie Paul and Tyrone McCarthy almost getting each other's way. Looked to be Robbie Paul's all the way that. McCarthy just arrived to just confuse the issue for a moment.
Simon Brown told his support runners he was going to kick that, put a banana kick in, and again, just look how hard Leigh are having to work away from their own line now. The crowd just getting a little bit impatient. They'll be feeling they've been hard done to on 1 or 2 decisions.
They're giving Robert Hicks a hard time, that's for sure.
Definitely brought his whistle with him tonight.
Not much in the way of support for the Sheffield Eagles here tonight on this Thursday evening, a warm night.
Okay, now.
And here is Bergin, one of the try scorers already tonight for the Sheffield Eagles, who lead by 8 points to 6.
And Sheffield again, they lean to look up, try and move these Leigh forwards around. See Danny Mills, the outside back's doing an awful lot of work for Sheffield.
Menzieri is tackled just inside his own half. Haley and Brendan Lindsay with a good crossfield kick. He was well outside his 40, but it's again into good space between Maiden and Donlan. And when Maiden picks it up, he's got chasers after him and almost sets Donlan away though.
But again, kicking early, kicking on the third tackle. They don't want to play the game anywhere near their try line.
The interesting aspect of that kick, that Tim Bergin, the winger for Sheffield, he wasn't interested in chasing that ball. He just kept the defensive line nice and strong.
Paul Smith retrieving that stray pass, and then on to Matty Blythe. Paul Smith coming into the lineup this evening for the Leigh Centurions. No Tommy Goulden. Goulden, player of the year here for the Centurions, but out of the side tonight. McCarthy straight into the hands of Hepworth, and to be fair, Hepworth was just ambling back to join the defensive line and just happened to be in the right place at the right time for the Eagles there.
Well, a good play, Tyrone McCarthy. Just got a bit carried away, saw Dave McConnell behind him, just offloaded that ball. And that's the temptation when you get your arm free. Do you offload it, do you pull it back in?
Go. Get out clean, Dave.
Here is Brown. Brown looking as though he was about to offload that ball, then takes the tackle.
Go.
Canny Andrew Henderson is on there, wearing number 34. Andrew Henderson, a real seasoned operator, came here from the Barrow Raiders. That's the fifth tackle. And it's again Brown. Drills the kick in once more and straight out this time. And the normally reliable boot of Simon Brown let him down that time, holds his hand up, acknowledges the mistake, so it'll be the turnover on the 40 or thereabouts.
Put a bit too much beef on this kick, and I don't know whether the fact that the Leigh winger had dropped back just slightly changed the angle that he was going to kick it. But that's the first mistake in the kicking department that Sheffield have made.
Well, Ricky Bybee has gone backwards, forwards, sideways, and eventually he's played the ball there. And it's McCarthy who takes the first tackle. Here is Chris Hill, had an early rest from the game, having been sin-binned for that late challenge. McConnell, Robbie Paul finds Matty Blythe. Mills came out of the line, missed him completely. Blythe plays the ball. Here's his Warrington club colleague McCarthy, looking to offload that one. McCarthy couldn't get it away, or rather decided to hang on to it. Robbie Paul now, he's got runners all over the place but couldn't get the pass to them. And again, Leigh Centurions just misfiring a little bit there. I think it was Donlan coming onto that ball, couldn't take the pass.
Well, let's credit Simon Brown. He knew that there was numbers here out wide. He just comes out the line, he puts pressure on Donlan, who just couldn't take that ball in. But there was only Brown and Bergen. That ball would have gone behind Donlan. That would have been a certain try for Leigh.
Go all the way next time, Jimmy.
So 26 minutes gone. Leigh 6, Sheffield Eagles 8 in this playoff tie, the first of the Cooperative Championship and Championship 1 playoff games.
Well, there's not much deception in those runs from Menzieri. They're just straight and direct over the top of Tyrone McCarthy then.
As was Alex Zostak there with that run. Hepworth, Lindsay, this time they're going wide again. Green, there's a hand in there. And the referee will bring him back for the knock-on. It was Duffy, I think, who just patted that ball down.
Well, Sheffield have used this play several times already. Did Duffy go for the ball? Probably yes. He's looking at the ball yet. He knocks that ball down on purpose, and Peter Green, if he gets that to the player outside of him, Sheffield are on the break again.
Here's Joe Hurst, scorer of a fine try already for the Sheffield Eagles, who are in possession with another of their danger men, Menzieri, but haven't seen much of his threat so far. They really need to unleash him close to the line to the Eagles. That's where he's particularly potent. Hepworth, and they're trying to work their way up the field towards that line now, but it's good solid defence, and Blythe in there once more with the tackle. Higson again. Now then, Ripati, and it was Exton, I beg your pardon, who's lost that ball and kicks it away and could well be penalised here.
That was a nice play, that short side play. just look, Trevor Exton, if he catches that ball, obviously frustrated with the skill that he showed, Mark Aston, he knows that was golden chance.
Mark Aston said before the game he was hoping not to be put through the ringer like he was on Sky Sports just the other week at Widnes, I think it was. But by the look of things, it might not be his night. Well, it's looking that way at the moment, even though it's only the narrowest of margins.
Well,
but his side are ahead.
The good thing for Mark Aston, they are creating chances. But this will not help. Every time they seem to get Leigh under pressure, they're giving penalties away, relieving that territory.
It's just attention to detail, and as you said before, Tez, they're still in this game, and they're allowing Leigh into their own half and releasing the pressure by silly, unforced errors.
One, play it, Ricky. Go.
Coming up to the half-hour mark, and Duffy hit that pass at speed. And eventually he's tackled. Peter Green just making sure of it. Bit of doubt in Duffy's mind there. Chris Hill now, and Hill.
Movement.
Hepworth preventing him offloading the ball. Could have been dangerous. McConnell, Robbie Paul now. Robbie Paul, short ball to Paul Smith, I think it is. And Smith has got that ball down. He has. And Paul Smith called into the side this evening because of injury problems. Gets his 6th try of the season for his latest club. Came here from the Swinton Lions. Ian Millward snapping him up and powering onto that pass to finish off and put the Centurions back in front.
Yeah, I understand that.
If Sheffield can catch this ball, they're over the line and they've post 6 points. Trevor Exton fails to catch it. And Leigh, with a succession of short passes, just troubled Sheffield enough. And Robbie Paul, he almost fakes to go behind Paul Smith. Looking behind, and Paul Smith on a good line, on a short pass, gets Leigh over.
Qualified teacher Paul Smith, combining that with still playing at this level. Now 33 years of age. And Mick Nannin, the last one went out of the ground. And brought him to 100 for the season. And once again on course for 300 or so points for yet another season of very lucrative point scoring for his latest club. He's got 19 tries as well. Nannin, another thump of the boots. This one stays in the ground, but it's on target, and 12 points to 8. Leigh Centurions are ahead now.
Well, talking about inviting Leigh down into your half, just look at the movement. They get so excited. Everyone comes alive down here. A good fake by Robbie Paul. And there's the excitement from Ian Millward. Calm down, son.
So the Eagles find themselves back behind Leigh now after Paul Smith's first try for the Centurions. His others this season have come in the colours of Swinton.
See, it's all about the little things, Bill. On that kickoff, there was 2 or 3 players from Sheffield in their haste to chase that kickoff. They were offside. And little incidents like that can cost you.
Move. 10 metres work.
Now then, can Leigh maybe just turn the pressure up on this Sheffield side? Have had a lot of defending to do, have the Eagles, in the first half hour of this game, despite the fact they've scored those 2 tries. Spend much of the time at the other end of the field.
Last movement, work, Trevor.
That's the 5th tackle. And Duffy, outside his 40, puts the kick in. And it's going to be Tanguy Rapati who'll field this ball, now playing at full-back in the absence of Missy Talapapa. One Samoan for another there in that position.
Go.
Bergin goes himself.
2. Movement. Hold.
Very accomplished
Yeah, it's good now.
Gaelic
Keep it
footballer
that way.
Tim Bergin, played in the Intermediate Championship back in Ireland and could have gone on
Go.
apparently to play at the full county level.
He's had
But
a
he's
tremendous
thrown his
year.
hat in with rugby league through student game and then
Okay, you're offside.
the Irish national side.
He's had a tremendous year, Bill. Came into the Irish national team at the back end of last year, and he's just grown in stature.
Exton gets that ball away, and it's a great pass for Hurst, and Hurst hit that one at pace, and Exton was standing there waiting for somebody to come, and eventually Hurst arrived. Now then Brown gets the pass away to Sostak. Sostak unloads, they're keeping it alive. Here is Rapati out wide, and Menzieri pops the ball down, but will it count?
Can you just see how the ball came out back there?
Referee Robert Hicks asking how the ball came free back there. The Leigh Centurion supporters breathing down his necks under no doubt that it was a Sheffield knock-on, but I'm wondering whether it was.
I've no problem with this, Bill. I've no problem.
Sheffield trying to get the ball in the hands of Menzieri. 10 yards out, he will crash over that line. Here it is.
This is an offload, this.
Shostak there, he goes to offload it. Well, the ball goes backwards and then it's pushed backwards as well. Brendan Lindsay offloads
What about the
ball.
ball from Rapati here? He goes into contact, and just as you think he's going to hit the floor, oh, beautiful pass. This is a try.
Stuart Cummins is the video ref here this evening. Robert Hicks awaiting his verdict. It is that it is a try for the Sheffield Eagles, which brings them level. And Menzieri, well, I said they needed to get him close to get over the try line. He can't get much closer than that. He was virtually standing on it. Ian Millwood taking a second look at that in the executive box behind him on the monitor there.
The one thing Sheffield have got is character, and they aren't prepared to be beaten. There's some doubt over this offload from the players and the fans from Leigh, but everybody in Sheffield, their reactions are good. This is quality, magnificent pass from Rapati, and he won't score an easier try in his career.
Simon Brown yet to succeed with the boot and still off target. 12 points apiece here, and Brown, the shake of the head, normally so reliable, but he hasn't brought his kicking boots with him yet this evening.
But the confidence that this Sheffield side are getting. There you see, again, Shostak. You can see he loses the ball, but it does go backwards, and it's tapped backwards by him. And Lindsay and Rapati do a good job here.
Stay on side.
I don't think he loses this, Tez. That's
No, he
an
tries to
offload.
offload it, but it doesn't go where he wants it to go.
Paul Smith tries to just get it out of his hands. It's a great try.
So, well, we anticipated a bit of a seesaw contest here this evening, and it certainly turned out to be that. Scores are level. Menzieri,
Stand up.
the try scorer. Robbie Paul bravely standing his ground there. So they recovered well, the Eagles, because losing Missy Talapapa so early on must have really rocked them back in terms of their morale for Mark Aston's side, but they've stuck to their task.
Well, he had to think quick, didn't he? Who was going to put that out in the back? Trevor Exton's the man in the centre, but again looking to play wide.
It was Exton once more getting that ball away. And Joe Hurst is enjoying the wide open spaces as well. That's the fifth tackle. Now then Brown finds a little bit of room and puts the kick in, and Donlan once again just happy to see that one find touch.
Simon Brown, who puts that kick in. When we talk about the reshuffling of Sheffield really early on, I've seen Simon Brown play at fullback, but obviously Mark Aston choosing to put Rapati there thinks it just frees up a runner. There is Missy Talapapa, his night's over. As soon as he went down, you knew there was something drastically wrong.
Well, the Eagles will be hoping that they can get him fit for what they hope will be another playoff engagement. A fumble there from Nanin.
Alex, get your hands out.
That was a knock on, that.
Move.
Well, the referee didn't spot it. And Leigh keep possession, but struggle to make progress upfield.
That was good speed by Andrew Henderson. Here's Nanin who goes down.
Do you think, just managed to keep a hold of it?
Movement. Go.
Ridyard is on for the Leigh Centurions. There he is in at dummy half and making a little scoot as well, and a good offload to Chris Hill, and Hill over the top to Bybee. Oh, and Bybee's pass goes forward. The referee says play on. There was a Sheffield hand in there, and it's back to one. They have got a golden opportunity here, and they're going to take it surely with Nanin. And Nanin finishes off, as he does so often. Gets try number 20 this season. Jack Howison asking Robert Hicks that maybe that was worth referring to the video ref. But no doubts there. I said he was seesaw. Well, it's just swung one the way of the Centurions again. Nanin, the try scorer.
Martin Ridyard comes onto the pitch at 9 and immediately jumps out. Markers aren't set from Sheffield. Hill is pushing up, and Ricky Bybee tries to get the ball away. A Sheffield hand puts the tackle count back to 1. And what about this ball? A magnificent pass. McConnell finds the space, finds the gap, and big Mick Nanin, he gets over for the try. Here's the offload. It's touched by a Sheffield player. And it's a good decision from Duffy to keep hold of the ball. A magnificent pass, outstanding, finds the space, and again, the balance goes back to Leigh.
So Nanin, unlike his kicking counterpart for the Eagles, hasn't missed tonight. I wonder if that is going to come back to haunt this Sheffield side. Nanin, a beaten grand finalist with 3 different clubs. Maybe this will be Mick Nanin's year. Very early days in the Centurions playoff campaign. But Nanin, just as half-time approaches, looking to extend their lead with this one from out on the touchline. And he's bang on target with that. Great roar from the Leigh supporters up the other end of the ground. And Leigh are ahead by 18 points to 12.
That's not a bad effort by the big man, Mick Nanin. But what about this pass from McConnell? You could see he had a little look up, saw where Tim Bergen was. He come too close, left that man, big Mick Nanin, in the corner, unmarked, to go in for the try. Congratulated by Robbie Paul. That's exactly what Leigh needed.
Bit of variety in the restarts from the Eagles. That one bobbling on along the ground, but the target is the same, Robbie Paul. So last couple of minutes of this first half, and the Leigh Centurions have got their noses back in front, but the way this game has swung to and fro, still an opportunity perhaps for the Eagles
You wouldn't count Sheffield out. They're determined to come here, and if they're going down fighting.
Howison stopping McConnell in his tracks, but McConnell able to get the ball away to Ridyard. And Ridyard tackled. 4 tackles gone as he plays the ball. Here is Chris Hill. And now then, Duffy will put Tim Bergen under a bit of pressure. 3 Leigh players bearing down on the Irish international, but he kept his nerve, kept his eye on the ball, and gobbled it up. Now then, here is Tanguy Rapati. Into the final minute of the first 40 then here at the LSV. Bergen once again, his try started off the scoring in the first half for the Eagles, but it's Leigh who look as though they'll go into the break in the lead. But will they? Because here comes Menzieri. He's got Mills outside him. Mills back in field. And that's great defence by the Centurions once more, managing to stop that attack down their right-hand side for the second occasion this evening when Danny Mills had threatened.
Leigh did an excellent job then. As soon as the threat came up, the Leigh players flooding back to make it difficult for Menzieri to find Danny Mills, and when Danny Mills gets it, it's virtually impossible for him to hand it on. Great stuff from Leigh.